Alfred Hitchcock. Few directors have made a bigger impact on the film industry than Alfred Hitchcock. He directed some of the best thriller and suspense films of all time. He became a legend of old Hollywood and forever lives on as an extraordinary film artist. At the start of his career, he worked on silent films. He started working as a title card designer for silent films at a small production company. Eventually, he worked his way up in the company and directed a feature-length film. His first film, Number 13, never made it to big screen because of the production company's bankruptcy. Over the next 10 years, Hitchcock was assistant director to numerous silent movies. He made his first big break in the UK film industry when he directed Blackmail, the first feature-length talkie. A talkie is a movie with synchronized speech and singing. Hitchcock was the first British director to successfully couple his film with sound, which at that time was a difficult endeavor due to inadequate technology. Hitchcock became a household name in England, and his success started to migrate towards the United States. He wanted to test his talent in Hollywood, so he moved his family to California in 1940. His first American film, Rebecca, was a huge success and won the Academy Award for Best Picture. Over the next 36 years, Hitchcock directed and produced some of the most iconic films in cinema history. He earned 5 Academy Award nominations for Best Director, but despite winning 5 Lifetime Achievement Awards and 2 Golden Globes, never took home an Academy Award. One of his most passionate projects was a documentary about the emancipation of Nazi concentration camps during the Holocaust. Hitchcock and his family lived in the United States for most of World War II, but he often expressed support for the British Army. This documentary was his contribution to his home country's war efforts. Hitchcock was known as the master of suspense. He coined several techniques that made his films stand out as masterpieces. Unlike current thrillers, he rarely shot violent scenes. Most of his films were black and white, which gave them an eerie and sinister aura. His expressionist technique manipulated the reality of the scene just enough to project an emotional experience that heightened the suspense. He often employed the MacGuffin in his films. This plot device, usually an object or character, advanced the plot but served no importance to the story. The tension of the film often revolved around the object. A typical Hitchcock MacGuffin could be a set of keys left behind by the murderer at the crime scene. Hitchcock made cameos in all of his films. He played some minor role like a passenger on a train or a passerby on the street. It became one of his trademarks. Another Hitchcock trademark was his love of blondes. The majority of his leading ladies were A-list blonde actresses such as Grace Kelly, Ingrid Bergman, and Kim Novak. Hitchcock is arguably one of the best directors of all time. He made a giant impact on the film industry as a writer, producer, and director of some of the most iconic suspense and thriller movies. If nothing else, his epic shower murder scene in Psycho will forever make us think twice about closing our eyes next time we lather up.